So when the Me Too thing broke, and I've worked in Hollywood for a long time, I've not had any of those experiences. I haven't worked at that high a level. I was really disturbed.
Yeah.
And then I was really disturbed by a lot of men's reactions. So I started this forum called Men Meet Me Too on Facebook. And it was harrowing for me because there was a lot of male rage about, hey, we're suffering too. And men do suffer as well. And in the forum, I had to use my best skills to go, hey guys, I totally get what you're saying. You've got pain too, but this is about me too. Can we hear what women are saying? Can we just step back before we get defensive or angry, or point out the extreme voices from, I don't know what to call them, radical women, radicalized women, or really angry women, or totalizing women who use just terms like toxic masculine. Wow, that's a scary word, compound term. And stop reacting to those voices and really just listen to what's going on, because this is a major shift. This is, I hope it's continuing. In my view, it's the equivalent of 1964 for African Americans.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a dream. This is like a wake up for men to go, holy shit, our sisters, our friends, our colleagues, our girlfriends, our wives, our daughters are fucking, can I say that? I don't know what your language is. Are getting ravaged, are getting hurt, are getting raped, are getting abused. And let's wake up to that. So that was my goal, to wake up to this. And part of this waking up is what I call the return to the positive masculine.
Yeah. I'm just out of curiosity for the listener, what are some of the defensive male arguments against the Me Too movement that would actually, I'm just so curious what the storyline is there.
So the one, there's deflection. It's not me. I didn't rape Hollywood starlets. When someone does that, often they're hiding shameful thoughts or histories. Mm-hmm. I have not always been on my best behavior with women growing up. I learned adolescent sexuality from popular culture. I probably pushed when I shouldn't have when I was younger. I can think of one case when I first got divorced, single back in 2000. I met someone at a convention and she was flirting with me, and I went back and we went back. We ended up going to bed together. I was so happy because I'd been married for 17 years and this was amazing. And then she started crying and I was blown away. I'm like, I thought this was good. So, sexuality is a complex thing. I think men who deflect don't want to look at their own shadow selves. We've got a beast inside of us, to varying degrees. Yeah. Kingsley Amis, who's a great British writer, said when he got to his mid-50s, he felt as if he had been chained to a maniac for 35 years. And I think when you hit mid-50s, you'll see what that means. It's just like all that. I remember David Data once said to me, we were at a conference and he looked out and people were asking about sex and sex and sex. And he just laughed and he said, in a few years, this isn't going to matter to you like this anymore, and he's really right. So I think men don't want to look at their, maybe their own past, maybe they've done things they're not so proud of. Certainly, I have to pretty much say every guy has had thoughts that they're not proud of.
Yeah.
Right? Rape fantasies, ravage fantasies, God knows what, family members, cousins, kids, who knows? Sexuality is a wild beast. So it's the first is kind of deflection. People don't want to deal with it. The second is just a rhetorical ploy. It's like, hey, you're saying all men are bad. Screw you. I'm good. I support my family. I work hard, and they don't even want to deal with. They
somehow take it personal and get defensive there.
Right, because they've spent, and I'll say something about this. They spent their whole life building an identity.
Right.
Without getting too much into ayahuasca, because you and I can talk about that for hours. I always talk about, I've been teaching men for a long time. We spend the first half of our lives defining our identity. It's like, I always talk about, it's like climbing a roller coaster, right? It's like, chug, chug, chug. You know that sound? It's like, this is my identity. Look at me. This is my identity. This is my identity. And then you hit a certain point in life. People call it midlife crisis. I call it midlife awakening. And you realize that your identity doesn't mean shit, okay? Uh-huh. It's good that you've been in service. It's good that you've created this identity in the world, but you reach the top of that hill and now you're looking down. And dude, that's going down. Yeah. Like you're heading toward death and you get that. And suddenly identity doesn't seem so important. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of guys who are trying to maintain their identity
themselves maintain their identity
are really threatened. And the rhetorical ploy is, it's like these fucking people on Fox. As soon as someone hears one sliver of something, they jump on it, like something offensive or something that's overstated. And there's a lot of overstatement in the Me Too movement. right?
Sure.
The woman about toxic masculinity. You have to believe women. No matter
All
what
men
they say.
are. This is how men are. Blah 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 blah.
And things that are just patently wrong, like you have to believe women when they tell you a story. You actually don't. Like generally, there's probably truth, but there's something called due process when someone is charged, like criminally. But it's important with the guys I moderate is to not get caught up in the extremes of the rhetoric of the other side, right? And to stay with the stories, man. Stay with the stories.
Right. Whatever happened to just listening? Like, oh God, that happened to you. Let me listen and hear you out.
Men are not good at that.
I
Have
know.
you heard?
I try to teach that. Yes, all day long.